Hey there, it's Theta again, your friendly neighborhood nihilist. Wanted to put this video together because I was in a match last night, and I thought it would be interesting to highlight my own mistakes and a couple of plays that I made. Not going to spend any time criticizing anybody else or doing anything negative towards other players, because frankly I don't think I'm in a position to do that at this point in my quote-unquote career. I will highlight some good plays on other people's part, but anyway, let's get into it. We're starting out here. This is the very first round of the match, and as you can see, there's only me and one other person left on Mayhem. In this case, it's James Boak. He's coming from the north staircase, and I am approaching from the south. Nobody knows I'm in the south. There was a trade earlier. I believe it was Wookiee, I don't remember. But somebody died in the south, so they believe that it was cleared out. As far as I could tell, they were not expecting me, and they just putting all their attention on James. And in this particular instance, it worked out in my favor. Let's watch what happens.
404 getting challenged.
He's just trying to get into a better spot.
See, they're circling back. Okay, and then I end up getting a 3-kill out of that, which was cool. I could have done better. I knew that there was a guy right around the corner. I could hear him communicating with the other people. I took those 2 kills opportunistically. They popped out. They were easy to kill. It was just poor positioning by virtue of the circumstance. They were focusing on the north alley. They were not expecting somebody in the south. Otherwise, they would have had that covered and probably gotten me first. And then somebody spun around the corner and traded with me. If I had been a little more conscientious of the probability of somebody coming around that corner, I might have been able to catch him as he rushed around. I don't know. Can't say I was that unhappy about this play, but it would have been nice to have survived that exchange and potentially won the round, because we ended up losing this one. Okay, on to the next one. In this play, I am on the same objective. It's the very next round. I'm facing towards the south. I have an angle directly on that big open, passageway from the south. And I ended up trading with Brass to Mouth. I should have been deeper in cover, and there's a lower likelihood of trading. In general, it's just not great to have angles where you're face on with your enemy, because it does increase the chance of having that trade. So my positioning was not fantastic. I did end up killing somebody, but it was a 1-for-1. You always like to have somebody taken out without a loss, if possible. Let's just see this develop. Oh, you can see so it's just Wookiee and I left, and I just traded, and Wookiee finished him off. And I'm just going to highlight this play because Wookiee did a great job.
47 remaining, and they are next door neighbors. I don't think it can get much more tense than this.
We were stressed out in the tent because we thought he might come around and cap on the opposite side, but
He doesn't need to push this right now. He has a minute and 30 left.
it worked out.
So he can drop back, rotate, and shift his presence a little bit if he wants to, and he would find an angle onto this final Mayhem defender if he does so, but he's got to go now or he's not going to have the time to do it quietly.
Ooh, that time is elapsing. Wookiee is beginning to make his way in. Can 404 be able to do it?
And nice job. Wasn't even a trade. He killed him. Very nice. Okay, on to the next one. On this play, we're now at the objective in the basement. As you can see, there is somebody facing down the train tracks. That's Zach Fontaine, and then 404 is around the corner. I am approaching from the stairway up here, as you'll see in just a moment. And I made a not so great play on this.
Zach might, if they lead with Monarch Kid, Zach's going to take shots first. Theta's going to have his vision drawn there. 404.
You can see I'm slowly coming down the corner.
But 404's angle is
I can hear them talking to each other right about there. Yeah, right there. You could hear him talk. So the way I heard it is he was right around the corner. I thought he might be behind this soda machine. 404 already has a beat on me. This was not going to end well. But I rushed out thinking that I was going to take this guy out. I was not anticipating this. I was not anticipating this.
I don't know if you noticed that, but as soon as 404 dropped,
wasn't a great move in general.
Theta crossed out, and it's so typical of Onward.
I'm going to leave this on because Mono did the right thing here. He comes through and does the exact same approach, but he does it correctly. And he ends up losing the trade, but Truthfully, if I had done the right thing, it would have just been one person for him to deal with. Maybe I could have even taken them both out, I don't know. But instead I put Mono in a pretty challenging position.
Because I looked one way for 1 second. Looks like Monarchid's gonna go for a similar rotation to what Theta did.
In fact,
I'd
I'm
almost say
going
what
to
he was
just
going before might have been
punch
better.
ahead a little bit so we get straight to it.
I think he's getting a little antsy. You know what these
As you can see, Mono is
usually kind of in the
checking the corner slowly,
mental state when it comes to this game.
and he ends up seeing Zach and picking him off without Zach even getting a shot off, which is exactly how it should have been played. Okay, so there's that. He checks the other side, and he trades. From our perspective in the 10, it looked like he even won that trade, but
Great play by Monarch to
that's just the game.
find 4 kills or 3 kills that round.
Okay, on to the next one. Now we're on the next round, and this is something I had not seen before, or at least I had not been part of it. But it happened just prior to this shot that you're looking at right now. Is they had smoked the staircase, and in the smoke, 404 had come down the exact same staircase I came down in the previous round, and he hid behind this machine. He didn't make any sound, he doesn't do any call outs, he just sat there and waited while the man came down with a shield. I'm right here, and you can't really see it from this perspective, you'll see it in a moment. And then Wookie is further down. Let's watch how this develops.
It's actually 50 seconds, but who cares?
See Wookie coming over here. I could hear the shield, I knew he was there, I called him out.
Theta is holding such a nice angle to be able to catch the man.
Yeah,
out.
I'm holding a nice angle, as
Again.
Todd says.
404
So here's the stupid part.
Molly goes off.
Yeah,
And
I
404
thought
by
for
Theta
sure
as well.
this guy had come down the staircase, and I was going to be able to catch him out. Still, even then, in retrospect, it wouldn't have been a great play because we would have been facing each other, and I knew there was still a shield there. Again, I just thought what was going on is that the shield was coming down with somebody. I had no idea that 404 had come out before, so that was a really smart play on their part. It was particularly stupid for me to peek because there was about 30-ish seconds left on the clock, so I could have forced them into a confrontation where they didn't know I was right there. They had no way of knowing I was right there, aside from maybe the man heard me or something earlier in the round. I could have waited for them to come around and kill them as they came over here. It still would have been 2v1, and there's a shield. I'm not sure there would have been a high probability of me winning that, but there was still a chance. Whereas when I peeked out like that, my chances of winning in retrospect were not high, because I was poking myself out. I was face to face with anybody, even if they were on the staircase. But the fact that 404 was at the soda machine pretty much sealed my fate. On to the next one. This next play doesn't involve me really at all. I am on the far opposite side of the map. I'm right here when all this goes on, but James and Potato just had a fantastic cap with some support from Mono in the back as well. And I just wanted to show us because I thought it was a great play. I'm proud of my team for doing it. So, play right here.
I'm sorry, G-Man. I'm getting my teams mixed up.
Oh, they start working on that.
Oh,
See, the man's right here.
Man has the second
And
support, so we can expect
that's a
something
miracle
like
dev.
besides the
Right on the objective. Alright, there's a bunch of stuff that happens in between that's not relevant to this, so I'm just gonna skip ahead to when the cap happens so you can see exactly how it works out.
calling for the
Here's
cycle to
me
happen.
poking through the corners, or excuse me, poking through the staircase,
They've got
starting my southern approach.
way up the map.
But again, I didn't really have an opportunity to contribute much on this round. I didn't see anything, I didn't even get a call out in. Anyway,
I think
let's
Theta
skip
probably
ahead a
is
little
in the
bit.
basement, but that's a pretty able to find the man. That's
Alright, so they have pushed down the stairs.
gone as well. It's
He's
Pat.
holding an angle on the objective right there, and James is just around the corner. He didn't realize it. Just a beautiful cap.
What a
That's a great job on that.
cheeky little maneuver.
Okay, on to the next one.
I told you. It's
Okay, this next part I'm showing not because it's a mistake on anybody's part. James had a malfunction with his controller that forced him to drop his grenade when he didn't want to. Normally is really on point with this, and in fact, if this had been a successful throw, he would have wiped out a substantial portion of G-Men on this, and we had a very good chance of winning this map because we had tied it up due to that cap. So let's just watch what happens here. It's pretty unfortunate, but
Mayhem are
Just a technical problem more than anything. You see James right here, he throws it, but it goes backwards and takes out. He kills himself instantly and downs Potato. We did not realize what had happened just then. I certainly didn't, at least. This is my position up here. You can see these two are moving in. I'm still waiting on this. So now we have 4 up here, about to be 5. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead just a little bit. Okay, so they're just doing a full team push down the staircase. Everybody, well, actually it's 4 here and then 1 stayed behind. Wookie gets a 4-4 with the C4 and downs him, but it's not enough. So I'm right here. I did not see that cross. This is where things start getting bad. So just then, I had run out of ammo. I had downed the man with that. I knew there was a lot going on. I started to panic a little bit. Let's see, and then I throw a flashbang right here. You can see this is not very far. I end up blinding myself. And as you'll see, I reach for my pistol and I drop my pistol in the middle of all this, which is not great, to say the least. And I'm fumbling around, I'm blind, I didn't even know that I dropped my pistol. Then I grab my rifle, once I do realize that I didn't have a pistol, and my rifle is out of ammo. So I have to reload. I should have just run out here, but as you'll see, this just evolves into a total shit show. So, oh, yeah, okay, try to grab it. I think maybe I'd shot off 1 round or something. I had nothing. I reloaded. Man, that was painful to watch. It was painful to be a part of, too. In retrospect, the commentators say this afterwards, like, all these people were out with their tablet out because Zach Fontaine was taking so long on the cap. I was just freaking out because I didn't have a gun. I had my pistol on the ground. You can see it right here. My rifle was out of ammo. I did not think to grab my knife. If I had just grabbed my knife and gone knife first into that crowd, I might have even gotten, I don't know, all of them, but good chance I would have gotten at least 1 or 2 of them and gone down with the ship, so to speak. The only thing that was a consolation in this is that it was 3v3, and my chances, or excuse me, 3-3, and my chances of taking out all of them, I mean, the commentator said I could have. I don't know if I buy that. My chances of winning that were not high. It was really more a matter of whether I was going to die or get capped on. I hate getting capped on with a passion. I've really tried to work on that, and obviously I fucked up here. So, moral of the story is, if you're running out of ammo and there's a crowd of people around you, you're the last offender, just pull your knife out. Just see what happens. I know I won't be making that mistake again, but man, did that suck. Okay, on to the next. And now we're on the next map, which is Cargo. This is the very first round. I got assigned to a position that I never play, and my lack of awareness here really cost me, because I'm playing in a position, I was told later, this is a pretty well-known position. I think my lack of experience is showing here, because I didn't realize how many people were aware of this position. You can see I'm peeking out. I'm in the far northeast, and I'm watching this line right here. What ends up happening, as you'll see, is the man moves over here with his shield. I'm calling him out right there.
We're just seeing Mayhem.
Yeah, I'm just constantly telling him, hey, there's a shield here. I did not see his friend come right next to him. Should have known better. They're famous for this. They stack on the shield. So here, I'm getting called out right now by the man. That's where that laser is. And Zach Fontaine's about to shoot me because he has the cover of the shield. I can't see him, and I'm dead. So that was just an overall stupid play. In retrospect, I should have been hanging out more on the opposite side near the pipes. At the very least, I could have been prone, or at the very least, not peeking right there, because it is a well-known spot. So, not a great play on my part. Okay, on to the next one. I wanted to include this one because it was just a funny sequence of events. Here we have the man and Zach Fontaine right behind the center line in Cargo. As you'll see momentarily, there's Mono and I in the middle. and Zach Fontaine and I trade, and then we both get revived. You can see there's a grenade up, smoke grenade. I'm moving around right here. Zach and I see each other. We trade. Miracle tries to confirm but fails. Mono picks me up in the res of the century. Then here's the real funny part. So, there we go. So we traded. We both get revived, and then I finish him off. And this is my favorite part of the round right here. Mono charges the shield on cast, dominates the shield, and then throws it and almost makes it to the top of the container. That was a hilarious moment. Okay, on to the next one. In this instance, Brass to Mouth goes on a bit of a rampage here. I end up trading with him at the very end, but I'm the last one up, so it doesn't matter. They win the round. I'll just say my reaction time on this was not great. I didn't realize what was going on my east flank. I believe, we'll find out in a moment, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is me right here. So corresponding on the map, this is me. And as you'll see, Brass, who I believe at this point is right here, might be wrong about that, we'll find out. Somebody rushes up here and more or less takes out everybody in the east. There's already somebody dead in the west, so there's 4 up, and goes over here, wipes this side out, and then he circles back around, and we trade because we were facing each other by the time he came back around. I heard him coming, but it just wasn't fast enough. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, here we are. Brass to Mouth starts right here. James is trying to reload or something. I take somebody out in the middle, and Brass is just running around like a madman. So I hear gunshots. I start looking, and Brass runs around the corner, and we kill each other.
Was that an ace for Brass right there? I think
No,
he took out all...
it was not an ace, for the record. So, anyway, I mean, it wasn't a terrible play on my part. I guess I got a trade out of it, but should have been reinforcing that east side with all that gunfire going on. I was slow to react, which was not great. Alright, next one. Okay, here we have a 3v4. We're on defense. This ends up being the final objective because they won this round. I'm over here. I'm across this dangerous little pipes crossing. Mono is on the objective. Wookiee is over here. And I start moving this way.
Angles. Oh, and there's also a Wookiee there as well, but
All I'm thinking in my head is I do not want to get capped on again. I'm going to do whatever it takes to not get capped on again. Here I am, calling out the shield. There goes Mono. I hear gunshots. I don't know who's up, who's down. I didn't check my tablet. I just run out. It's like, at this point, I don't really give a shit about getting killed because I just don't want somebody to come around that corner. And so the stupidity in this play is that I could have checked that way smarter. Could have popped in around here, gone through the back. I could have just popped up around this box and looked this way. I would have been exposed, but not nearly as exposed as when I ran out. There was just too much distance to cover here. There were a bunch of guys closing in, but there's no reason I couldn't have taken out at least 1 or 2 of them, especially Zach out here in the middle. There's just no good reason to run out like that on objective, even if you don't want to get capped on. So, again, not a great play on my part. Alright, on to Downfall. Now we're on Downfall, the very first round of Downfall. Just to give you some context, you can see this X up here. This happened almost immediately. Wookiee and I were pushing this way. We got spotted very early on, and Wookiee was killed. I narrowly missed getting killed. I believe he had a mechanical problem with his controller that slowed him down. I was waiting for him to do the push. I, in retrospect, should have just gone, and then he could have trailed behind me. But we both waited, and the delay cost us. Wookiee got taken out. I almost got shot. I spent a bunch of time hanging out in North Hotel, trying to find my way through. I was getting shot at the whole time. Eventually, I just did a mad dash down here, stayed out of sight, and now I am the very last person in the back here on the north side of the push. You can see me, I'm over here in, like, what's it called, ice cream truck area right now. You got Potato, second story, Mono, bottom story, and then I believe, if I remember correctly, there's James on the west road too. Well, let's watch how this evolves.
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah,
like
there's
they
James
wanna,
right there.
like, mow them down in the 3-story, like keep them occupied there, like just out of reach of the objective, but in a place where they really can't rotate from if G-men are at full strength, which they are.
Okay, I'm going to pause right here because this is pretty important. Potato has been on this position the whole time, and he ends up taking out Brass to Mouth, who is hanging out in Darkroom right here. I did not know he was right here. I did not take the time to look at the tablet. I knew time was running out. We had been all telling each other, all right, 2 minutes when you start attacking. I think I took that a little too literally. So I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit. Okay, so we get this pick.
Shots ring out. Potatoes is able to find Brass though. Very nice little pick.
All right.
And James is going to use the smoke to try to facilitate his push across the wall.
Got eyes on James from Darkroom. He's about to die. Here's the big mistake I made on this round. Once again, I was not checking my tablet, or at least I wasn't being smart enough about it to see exactly where Potato was. I knew he was somewhere in this vicinity, but I didn't know he was up here. I thought maybe he's down here. I didn't communicate clearly enough. I didn't figure out where he was, and instead I just ran up to this platform to try to get a view of everything. And in retrospect, it was pretty stupid because not only was he up there, and now we're both grouped in this one convenient place to get killed, but it's a pretty exposed position. Potato can play it because he just has the skill to do that. As you can see, he took out Brass to Mouth. Don't think I could say the same thing about myself, so this is a dumb play. As you'll see, it doesn't work out very well. So I run up here, basically tell him, hey, we gotta go because there's only a minute left. Poke out, see if I can catch anything. I didn't have very good situational awareness now. I didn't realize there was somebody up in Marsoc. I get killed. Potato goes down. So, just not a great play in general. Shouldn't have gone up here. Should have communicated more clearly with Potato. There was smoke right here. I could have taken advantage of that and pushed along west wall. There wasn't much time left, but that still would have been a better route to take than to go exactly where my teammate was in a position I just didn't really have the acumen to work effectively. So don't do that if you ever find yourself in that position. Next play. Now we're on the next round. You can see that I am in the, this is called the North Marsoc Darkroom, which gives you a pretty good line of sight on a lot of what's going on the map. But the only downside is, as I've discussed in my Don't Get Capped On video, you're fairly far away from the objective, and if somebody takes your southern cover out over here, and there's somebody here, as you can see, is already developing, the rotation becomes suicidal. You'll see that I do not have correct awareness. Yeah, so I just called out that there's someone right next to me. I thought I had heard footsteps. I truly do not know why I thought I heard that. Maybe it was just the sounds of my own character moving and I was mistaking that as movement outside. I don't know. There was somebody north of me. I think I even say, hey, there's somebody north of me shortly after this, but it doesn't matter. He wasn't close enough for me to be making that call out. You can see that it drew attention over here when it shouldn't have. So this is a, as you'd say, type 1 error in the sense that I was a false positive. I was saying there's somebody there when they weren't. So whoever was right here, I don't remember who exactly was on objective in this instance. They're looking up my position, trying to figure out, okay, there's somebody moving on Theta. How do I take care of this? Which is not smart because there wasn't anybody there. So there's a mistake right away. I'm peeking here. There is a shield on Center Hotel. You can see, and all he's doing is gathering information.
Theta's peeking now. Take the shots through that window, and then
he's throwing smokes.
Blind fire in there without having to worry about being exposed.
Up to this point, you can see I've got a magazine on the floor. I was wasting ammo on shooting this guy, which is another stupid mistake. If you see a shield at distance like that, it's generally not worth your ammo. So this was a critical moment. So you can see he's way up in the south.
For Mayhem, they
TFH is about to call it out.
objective now if Wookie goes down.
Yep, so can't rotate to the objective, just like he said. I did not know this happened, and afterwards, James, who just got killed, was like, why the fuck didn't you realize that there was somebody in the south? I don't have a good answer for that, just because I didn't hear it. If I did, I don't remember. Either way, I didn't react. I didn't incorporate that knowledge into my next play, as you'll see. So here's somebody over here. I knew that we only had one on the objective and one nearby. As you can see, Mono is up in the White House. I believe that's Mono. So there's only one person on objective. Once again, I'm just sort of thinking to myself, let's not get capped on. I knew there was a shield in Center Hotel. I've been calling him out. And having a shield pushing onto that objective is not great when there's only one person to deal with it. I did not account for the kill count. I didn't account for anything, really. I just said to myself, I need to get closer to the objective so that it doesn't get capped. And I pay for that mistake, as you'll see in just a moment. Zach is going to have a very nice beat on me. I mean, to their credit, it was a nice play. And they pincered that position pretty well, surrounded the objective.
Theta's doing a very exposed rotation.
TFH. I'm pointing out just how poor of a play this is.
He's definitely going to be caught up by Zach.
Yeah, I am going to get caught out.
If this doesn't come from Zach, I am going to be shocked. I think Theta's rotated there.
So I went in the valley first, so it was slightly better than just running out in the open.
I'm surprised he's lived as long as he has, but Zach Fontana
Oh,
has
there it
eyes
is.
on that. Theta goes down.
One dead indeed. Yeah, so not a great play. I should have been more aware of the fact there was someone in the south. Just more aware of the fact that that's a common play. Once again, kind of inexperience showing itself. You know, and also just in retrospect, it wasn't that smart. Even though I was wrong about there being somebody right on my position, if I thought there was somebody right on my position, I should have gone around Marsoc at the very least, and then try to clear that out or get a view on him. So if I get killed up there, then whatever. At least I'm trying to get rid of somebody. Rather than if I run down here and then he takes this position, even if I make it to this, it's dangerous because now they have the dark room, which is a really powerful position in this objective. And they would have 4 points surrounding us. So once again, not a great play. On to the next one. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this next one. Just a highlight. I ended up killing 404 with only his helmet showing on the crest of a hill. I don't think they even caught it on cast. Yeah, there it is. So you can see the distance here. So he was right here. I didn't know I killed him. I ended up going up on that spot later in the round.
I would love to say this is round 4 as well, but that's not
I was checking my tablet. So I'm still, you'll see I maneuver out here. I'm still thinking there's a guy right there. I did not realize I killed him. I was just proud of that shot. That doesn't happen that often with me. I feel like every now and then I'll get one of these crazy long-range shots that surprises even me. I guess that was one of those shots. I'm going to skip ahead because Wookie has a really nice play on this round. I want to highlight that. This is the same round, just a little later. I skipped ahead. There's no point in watching the whole round, but here we have at least, yeah, we got Brass to Mouth right here, and he's watching the objective approach here. And for one of the few times in my quote-unquote career in Onward, I throw smokes that work out. They're right where I want them to be. This ends up, it's not a total blinding effect for Brass to Mouth, but I think it was enough obfuscation and audio problems for him that it helped a little bit with Wookie getting in. I mean, Wookie probably would have gotten in without it, just because he was being pretty slick about it. But this ended up working out in his favor to some degree, I like to think.
Might be able to find Brass to Mouth if he's cheeky enough about it, but
Oh, here.
Toss smokes himself, giving away his position.
Oh, there we go. Wookie's rushing in.
He can free sprint in. Brass isn't checking this underground approach, and Wookie's pad out.
Wookie's made it in.
And here we go, right behind a Miracle Dev.
The rotation isn't coming. Wookie doesn't know his placement too. He's on him.
There it is.
Mayhem,
Nice play. On to the next one. This play was pretty brutal. There was a shield in play because G-Men played a shield. I'm pretty sure, if memory serves correctly, they had the man running the shield on every single one of their Marsoc rounds. And they're one of the teams that plays it even on big open maps like Downfall. Now, I also knew that they like to occupy the White House right here because it's a pretty powerful spot. James is aware of that too, so he positioned us with him looking out this way and me looking directly over to the south just to watch this entrance. And what ends up happening is I see the man, and I waste ammo on him. Just get this going. So he runs up here. I waste my ammo shooting him. It's a waste because I'm not going to hit him. And then Brass comes out, kills me. Problem here was that I made a couple of mistakes. First of all, again, just a waste of ammo to hit a shield, especially from distance. If you don't have an angle on them of any kind, if you can't see anything except their feet maybe, then you're better off just calling the shield out. They can't do that much from you from a distance, and you definitely can't do anything to them. So I stupidly wasted ammo on that. On top of that, after I saw the shield, I made the assumption that he was by himself, since that's how they had been using him up to that point. They had just been using him as a sort of probe, put him in Center Hotel and other places to just gather information about our positions. He had not been traveling with other people as far as I could tell. So I assumed he was by himself and I was safe to do a call out. And instead, Brass was right behind him and just traced my fire and took me out. In retrospect, James was right next to me. And if I wanted to call it out, I could have just said, hey, James, call out that there's a shield at White House and kept both hands on my gun. Because I saw Brass to mouth, but I had one hand off my weapon. And by the time I had put my hand back on the weapon, Brass had killed me. So, not a great play. That's the last play I'd like to highlight. They ended up winning this. They got a cap on this very same round. But kind of a brutal game. It's also just constructive whenever you play against a really good team, because when we were playing them, they were number 4 in the world. G-Men has been around for a long time. I think they even started in the first season of a competitive Onward. So, excellent players. Good game to them. They did a great job. And certainly a learning experience for me. Playing against teams like them in Globochem always teaches me something, always highlights that there's more to learn. Hopefully you can learn something out of this too, from my mistakes and from the play of other people who are doing well in this. So for now, that's all I've got. This is Theta, your friendly neighborhood nihilist, signing off.